Hello and welcome to my urban microstead. We have done so much work outside, especially when it comes to our garden, and I had not documented any of it during any of our renovation videos, which I really wish I did, but there's a lot of work that goes into this, and it was blazing hot last summer, and last thing I was thinking about was taking out my camera and documenting everything. So most of the documentation is done by my husband. He takes a lot of before and after photos, but we had some really humble beginnings in this entire area. I live residential, so there's neighbors on either side of me, neighbors behind me, neighbors in front of me. This is like an old retired neighborhood for the most part. There's still muscle cars you'll hear probably throughout the video. It's not very quiet, unfortunately, which is a con that comes with doing homesteading residential. But there's a lot of pros as well. So with that being said, I just wanted to harvest some things while talking about all the changes that happened to the garden, as well as maybe what I'm growing and what's going on here in Florida. This is specifically Northwest Florida, so we are zone 9A. No more talking, let's get to it. Oh, my knees hurt. Oh, God. Let's see who needs harvesting today. Got some calendula. So we're gonna stop off at my calendula first. As you can see, a lot of these flowers are ready for clipping. So it rained pretty heavy last night, or I guess technically this morning. I think it was very, very early in the morning. There was a really big thunderstorm, actually, this lightning cracked so loud that it woke me up from a dead sleep. And I woke up like I had a terrifying vision. Like I was sweating, breathing really heavy. The cats were frightened, and it was so funny because I don't get scared of thunderstorms like that, but shit woke me up from the dead. But I think everybody needed it. I was holding off on watering to not, because I knew they were gonna get a big old serving of Wawa. Oh goodness, my parsley's about to bolt, I think. I believe this is about to bolt, so I'm about to trim this. It is pretty hot for spring, as expected. It's Florida. The averages have been in the 80s, very high 80s. So I know summer's just around the corner. I'm not happy about it because this past summer was absolutely brutal. And we were unfortunately doing a lot of work outside for the garden. This is my borage, by the way. I am harvesting the flowers to make some skin salve with my calendula, and I'm trying to harvest as much as I can before this thing dies, because summer is a-coming. When we first moved onto this property, it was this barren, there was nothing. It was all just leaves, and I think all there was a fire pit. And so far we've brought so much life back to this backyard. There's grass. I mean, there's still patches of absolutely nothing, but the soil here is not very fertile, so please don't expect much to happen in the native soil here. So right before we closed on the house, we were living in my mom's camper at this RV park for about 4 months, and all we had was this potted basil and potted bell pepper. And it's just so funny looking back at it because I have an enormous amount of plants now. People might consider it a problem. I don't care. I'm just obsessed with bringing life to where I live and being able to harvest from it and know that I did that with my own 2 hands. This is lemon bee balm, by the way. I totally forgot to mention that. One last good one right here. And then the rest I will leave alone for now. But very, very humble beginnings. I think all we had was one raised bed that we didn't even use as a raised bed. We used it as more of a greenhouse. And then we had a few seedling cups. I think that's all we had. And now looking at this gigantic cluster of things, it's amazing. And I would do it all again if I could. I feel like I may I would have condensed it a bit more if I could, because I feel like I do definitely have more room for more raised beds with the space that we're currently occupying. But I'm not gonna move all these raised beds, that's a lot of work. And we also have drip irrigation that we installed as well, and I don't feel like disturbing all that. So I think the first iteration that our backyard went through was that greenhouse that we set up. And then I believe he set up like a little pad with the pre-existing pavers that they had in the fire pit. And he made some sort of pad, filled it with rocks, and then I think we had a mulberry tree he had purchased from Home Depot, and a handful of things. I can't honestly remember. I know he has the picture, I will show it. And then after that, we wanted to expand it, but our sunlight is super limited in the yard. It doesn't shine on the entire yard because there's so many trees in this residential. That's another con about living residential, is that there's so many trees. And I love trees, don't get me wrong, but in Florida, you don't want trees right next to your house. That's not a place you want a tree to be. And it blocks a lot of sunlight as well, which is, you know, fine and dandy and all, but when you're trying to maximize your backyard for garden space, you don't want that much shade. It's gonna severely limit on what you can and can't grow in your backyard. So it's just food for thought. Things I wish I would have known sooner. So this chamomile I had planted from seed, and then right next to it is some stinging nettle I had also planted from seed. And let me tell you, it is a wonderful feeling to see things that you planted from seed actually grow. And another thing I wish I would have known before starting my own seedlings, plant more than one. At least plant like 5 of each, because not all of them are gonna survive. And I learned that the hard way, and I was like, damn, I missed the window. Now I gotta wait for next year. So with that being said, a lot of the plants in this whole area right here, these are all, you know, like cold loving plants. So they're not gonna be alive for much longer. So I am just enjoying what I can out of them. As I was saying, after the little pad that he had built, we had extended it as far right as we could, because he had the pad right here where this pole is, and we had extended it all the way out there to try to get as much as we could, because this whole plot right here gets 100% direct sun. There's no trees blocking the sun. I think it blocks a little bit of the evening sun, but that's totally okay. I believe some of these jalapenos are ready to go. Pausing my story time so I can tell you about my jalapenos. I think, for starters, I have about 13 or 14 pepper varieties in my garden right now. And why, you ask? Peppers grow so well here in Florida. They love the heat. So if you live in a really hot climate, peppers, they're so easy. You really don't have to do much. Just make sure that they get their nitrogen, and that's about it. Honestly, just dump some coffee grounds on them and they're good to go. Here's my jalapenos, big ass leaf in the way. There we go. So these guys are ready to go. I bought some jalapenos at Aldi today because, first off, they were about 90 cents per bag. And then also, yes, I have jalapenos, but I do not have enough to do a whole jar or jars of candied jalapenos, which is what I'm really craving because we ate the last of ours, and I'm still really upset about it, and I wanted to make more. But these are my jalapenos. These are jalapenos without the heat. And before you say, oh, that's not a jalapeno, then listen, it's got the flavor, which is what I like, but some jalapenos pack a lot of heat, especially when you leave all the seeds in, like I did on several of my canning recipes, and God, it is hot, and I have acid reflux, so me and super spice don't really mix that well. So I was planning on mixing these in to kind of soften the blow a little bit, but I love candied jalapenos, and I do want to make more of them. So I keep getting sidetracked. I'm so sorry. I'm not good at this. These are my mammoth jalapenos. They're not quite mammoth yet, but they're still gonna taste the same, so who cares? So continuing what I was saying, once we extended into this whole area over here, we quickly realized that full sun in Florida, shut up, ho! Fireball! Everything got sun scorched. So what I did, or what we did, mostly Brody built it, but I did do a lot of the planning, okay? So give me some credit. But we built a nice little pergola. I got some shade cloth. I got I think it's 30% shade cloth, which just means 30% of the sun's power or heat is filtered out. So they're still able to get their full sun without burning to death, essentially. The sun is especially really hard on my green beans, mostly my green beans and my tomatoes. My tomatoes died last summer, and I'm hoping that since a lot of them are moved under the shade cloth, they might live a little bit longer, but it's just too hot and humid here. They always end up getting some sort of disease. So we'll see about that. But yeah, we built this pergola and I put the shade cloth on top of it, and everybody's doing smashingly. I need to really wash my mouth. I think next is gonna be mulberry. I need to check my mulberries. Who the hell are you guys? Ooh, I think I spy some pests. Ooh, I need to take care of this real quick. Okay, so I had to back you up because I'm gonna be moving all around this tree, but mulberries kind of pop off one by one. They're not really like a big ol' harvest type of fruit quite yet. Maybe a little bit later, I'm not entirely sure. They usually stop by summer, so I'm hoping I could get a decent harvest before everything dies. I would have had a bigger harvest if this didn't drop all its fruit when we had our winter storm and it survived. And then it started to warm up and it started to produce berries. And then we had another cold snap and it dropped all those berries, unfortunately. So we lost quite a few mulberries thanks to that. There's some mulberries. Yeah, I don't know what pests those were. They kind of looked like squash bugs, but not really. I've never seen a pest on my mulberry tree before. Those were definitely pests because there was a whole gang of them, but I don't know. We got mulberries, jalapenos, lemon bee balm, chamomile, calendula, borage, and strawberries that I forgot to record, and I am so sorry. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say other than this whole backyard went through several transformations, and it's still going through transformations. It just won't be going through any more transformations anytime soon until summer passes and we're back into fall, where it's definitely not, 100 and something degrees outside, but this is my basket. I'm going to be drying my flowers, and as far as the fruits and everything, for the onesies and twosies that pop off, I would just freeze them. I don't want to give gardening tips quite yet unless if anybody asks for it, but I just wanted to tell the story of my garden, and we can, I guess, do a little inventory of what I have right now. There's a lot, so buckle down, grab some popcorn or a snack or something, because there's a lot. So you've been warned. So I will say this year's spring has been pretty surprising as far as at least the peppers growing, because last year the peppers didn't do anything. They were dormant until I think the beginning of summer, maybe the ass end of spring. So, and the fact that these have already produced a handful of peppers is mind-blowing to me. But so I started with my jalapeno, which I have already harvested completely. But just my jalapeno. And then we got the cubanelle. I know a lot of my peppers are very close together. And I'm willing to take, my punishment for that. But this is this gigantic pepper. I don't think it's gonna grow another pepper until this one's harvested, because it looks like it takes a lot of energy to grow something this large. These are my Cajun bells. They're like miniature bell peppers. They're very cutesy. This is my Carmen pepper. It's an Italian roast sweet pepper, I think. Yeah, it's a sweet pepper. And this is my pineapple sage. It's absolutely gorgeous when it flowers. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. The powder substance that is my, it's not what you think it is. It's diatomaceous earth to dry out the bugs. This is banana peppers. Banana peppers did so well here last year. This year they're taking a while, but again, this is what I grew last year and it did not do anything during the spring and took off during the summer. So it's already doing more than it did last year, so I'm sure it'll be fine. This is my shishito. She's a beaut. She's pretty wrinkly, but I've never had a shishito before, but I heard they taste good. And then of course I have marigolds kind of sprinkled around to ward off pests and whatnot. Now these are my 2 srirachas. They look an awful lot like jalapenos. I was a little concerned that maybe they were listed wrong, but I did look online and the youngsters do look exactly like a jalapeno, so maybe I just need to wait. I don't know. This is my mammoth jalapeno. She's doing her thing. I left one behind because she's not quite large enough yet, but that's fine. And this one, I think this is my 3rd banana pepper. So I bought one that came in a set of 3. And you can very obviously see one is doing better than the other 2. These ones are looking a little yellow. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but I guess we will see. These are all my red onions. So I feel stupid. This is my first time ever trying to grow red onions. I got little bulbs of red onions from Tractor Supply and I planted them thinking that they were gonna give me onions. So you plant the bulbs and then it flowers and seeds and then that's when you get the onions. I did not know that because I pulled them and I planted these in November. And I was like, this is just like a red green onion. Like what's, I mean, the greens I will say taste very different than green onions. They taste just like a red onion. They got that kick to it. You know what I'm talking about? It's delicious though. So I'll just use the greens and then maybe try onions again next year. I'm not entirely sure. Or I might cut the greens and freeze them and then use this for something else. Maybe move some of the peppers over so they're not so crowded. But it's always changing back here. But this is my lovely this is my lovely blackberry. She's got a lot of berries this year. This is way more than last year. I'm very, very much excited to see these ripen. This is my blueberry. I have a Premier and Climax. I don't know why it has that name, don't ask me. Blueberries need a buddy. Make sure you get a buddy for your blueberries, okay? You heard this from me. And over here, finally, we have my raspberry. So this, I think this is just a regular red raspberry. Raspberries do not like the heat. No, 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 no. They do not like it here in Florida. But the bitch hasn't died yet, so I'd say we're good. Fall and spring, it'll produce. Summer, it'll die. Winter, it'll die. But spring and fall, it'll bounce back and produce. So it's fine. It's fine, I'm not worried.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about any of this.
So this is my Cherokee purple. She's pretty. She's got little fruits in the middle, as you can see. Cherokee purples, I've never grown before. This is my first time growing them, but I heard from other Floridian gardeners that it does well here. So I'm giving it a shot. That one I bought. I do have a lot of starts that I did myself. I didn't expect all of them to survive, but they all survived. So I ended up giving a few to some of my friends, but I have a lot of Cherokee purples. I got 5. Yeah, 5. I have 5 total. So I'm gonna have a lot of tomatoes this year. So this is my kale. I'm surprised it's still alive because it's extremely hot right now. And these are all my green beans. They're a little stunted and I'm wondering if it's because the kale's here. So I might rip out the kale and feed it to my chickens and then hopefully the green beans will come back. But I mean, they're growing. They're just really stunted and small and usually they'll be a lot bigger by now. If you guys are master gardeners, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. Because I know they're nitrogen feeders, but I don't know if the kale is being an asshole to them. So this is my apple mint. I was inspired to grow apple mint from More Than Farmers. I am a huge More Than Farmers fan. Okay, I shouldn't say huge fan. I'm not like, I don't worship them, but I do watch every time that they upload. I follow them closely. And this looked so good. And the way she described making tea with it, I'm not even a tea person all that much, but when I do, I prefer it to taste good. And she says it tastes good, so I'm gonna trust her. It's doing really well, surprisingly. So I hope I can keep it alive. We'll see. Then we have my Ichiban eggplants. I have 3 of them. They all grew some fruit. And then this is my Black Beauty over here. She is not doing too well. Oh no. Oh no. But the Ichibans are doing great, so I guess maybe I'll try doing those again next year. They seem to be doing much better than my Black Beauty. I think my Black Beauty last year only produced maybe 2 or 3 eggplants and then it died. So maybe the Ichibans are just better for the hot and humid, because I know Japanese weather is pretty similar to ours. So that might be it. This is my sweet potato patch. I'm actually about to plant some ginger that I have sprouting in my kitchen right now. I'm gonna plant it in this little blank spot here. I did look online beforehand. Ginger and sweet potatoes do well together, so I did my research. Don't worry. So this is my fig. Something has been eating the crap out of the leaves, but I do have some figs. Got more figs right there. She's doing well though. She survived the winter storm we had. This is my pumpkin spice jalapeno. It sounds gross, but I'm just curious. And I believe these are all pepper seedlings. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Those are definitely, I believe, pepper seedlings or tomato seedlings. I don't know. We will have to see. I will have to wait and see. This is my tomatillo. We got some tomatillos growing. I'm so excited. I've never grown a tomatillo before in my life, so I don't know if I'm doing this right. This is how we learn. We learn by doing. I got some celery that I got from Mom's house. I have more celery on the other side of the garden, but this is from my mom's house. She actually had celery that seeded in her backyard, and so she's got wild celery all over her lawn. I'm not even kidding. I dug this up from her lawn. All right, next. This is, what is this? This is, oh, my Tiburon. I don't know if I said that right, but we have some fruits. The other one's way further along than this one though. I got 2s of a lot. This is my Hungarian paprika. I'm really excited about that one. This is my other Tiburon. As you can see, it's way further along than the other one. This is my other Hungarian paprika. As you can see, the slugs have been eating the leaves yet again. Oh no, oh no. Oh, I'm gonna have to stake everybody up. It stormed really hard last night. Wind probably whipped everybody around. So this is my cow horn. It's essentially like a big cayenne. Yeah, I don't know, why not? That's what I was thinking. This is my grape, my muscadine grape. It's going nuts. I do want to transfer it eventually, but I think I will do that during the winter when it's died back. And of course we got some zinnias. We do love our zinnias. These are 2 pimentos, I believe, that I started from seed. I'm not entirely sure if they're pimentos because my husband moved all my seedlings around and did not make sure they were labeled. So I believe these are pimentos. I hope they are pimentos. I will be upset if they are not. This is my Greek oregano. Actually kind of want to harvest some of it just to dry it, kind of clear it up in here. It's like a creeping plant almost. We got my strawberry patch. I think next year I'm going to mix in perlite with the soil because I think the soil's a little too compacted on this side of the strawberry patch because these strawberries look a bit diseased and rotted compared to this side. This side, they look fine. This is my green onions. All my green onions. I got my chives. Oh, we got weeds growing in the midst of my chives. Got my chives. We got zinnias, my garlic, and my leeks. I got 2 leeks that I saved from a store-bought leek and continue to grow. This is my Cuban oregano that almost died about 5 different times, but she's still going. Very, very cold sensitive. If it's like below 60, it's too cold. And this is my fish pepper. It has been looking like it's on its last limb for a really, really long time, but it's still growing. So I'm just gonna let it try its best. I've been on top of it, but it's still just, I don't know what's going on, but it's still alive. It's not dead yet, but the peppers look really cool and striped. Look at that. It's pretty neat. Now we are next to my cucumber patch. We got little babies forming, as you can see. Got little babies and green beans that I put next to it, just for extra nitrogen. This is my lemongrass. I will have to repot her, obviously. I think I might put her directly into the ground because it likes this weather, so I might do that. I don't know when. Eventually. And then this is our Pakistani mulberry, which I don't know who is eating these leaves and who ate it in the shape of a penis, but that's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna see fruit off of this thing. I think it'll be a while before we do. Well, that's all I have to share so far. There'll be more eventually, but I did want to just show the garden before everything dies from the heat. So it's the main reason why it happened now and not later when the garden's in full swing. But yeah, everything is going to be sun scorched in the next few months. I can guarantee you that. So if you want to see more of my garden, let me know. I love showing it to people. I love explaining how things work, and I love giving suggestions for what to grow and how to take care of them and whatever. But yeah, this is my urban microstead. I need land. I want to be away from people. I think I'm gonna make some of that cowboy candy now if you'd like to join me inside. So I have my apron on. We mean business in here. I'm gonna start by throwing my herbs on my drying rack, and then I'm going to be throwing my fruits and everything that I've harvested in the freezer, minus my jalapenos, obviously. And then I'm gonna get my water canner, or my pot, my big ass stock pot boiling, and I'm gonna sanitize my cans, and we're gonna get to it. So I apologize in advance, but you will not be getting cutesy aesthetic kitchen cooking time thing. I have some dishes in my sink. This whole wall is like partially torn off and it's not aesthetic, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna fill up this big stock pot, and we're gonna get it on the stove to a rolling boil, and I'm gonna sterilize all my cans. And then while that is happening, I will be chopping up all the jalapenos and making the vinegar sugar mix stuff that it's gonna be sitting in. So I will be following the official ball recipe. So this is tried, true, safe to eat. Trust me. Or trust ball, really. It's not my recipe, but trust that I am using a reputable source.
1 hour later. 2 hours later. 3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
3 days later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Oh my god. So I don't quite have 4 pounds. I got like almost 2. So I'm gonna do half of everything. So I'm just gonna split the whole recipe in half. There is a single fly in my house. I know he's there. I know you know he's there. And if he flies by the microphone, just know I know. I know he's there. He's annoying. So I'm gonna grab my gloves and I'm going to chop these into little ringlets, discs. I don't know, you just chop it this way. So I'm gonna go get my gloves. Okay, got my gloves. This damn fly is about to get punched. Meat, Miss Weech. She's hiding somewhere. She's my little bug killer. She ate about 2 of them last night. I watched her. She's my little killer. Spring is in full swing. So you know what that means? All the bugs, they're out. There he is, taunting me. Oop, I just washed the knife. Can hear that the cans are starting to boil. So we're right on time, right on schedule. Well, that was definitely playing Russian roulette because I can't remember which ones were my jalapenos. Probably should have separated those to begin with. But they're all chopped. Put them in the bowl. I'm gonna tidy up over here and we're gonna start making the juice, the vinegar sugar mixture. So first I'm gonna do the sugar so I don't have a wet cup going into the sugar. So it says 4 cups of sugar, or technically I'm splitting this in half. So I will do 2 cups of sugar. So 1 and come on. And 2. So half, that means I'm gonna do 1.5 cups of vinegar. So I'm gonna shake up my ACV, get that mother in there. I'm gonna dump her in. Meep, really? Really? She has to touch everything. Okay, so there's 1. And then I'm gonna get my half. There's half. It calls for 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna do 1. This is a half. I don't know where my full teaspoon is right now, but. Okay. Then I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I'm gonna do 6 cloves of garlic. I'm trying to remember, so I'll do 3 cloves. So how much equals a clove? It usually tells you. Okay, half a teaspoon is 1 clove, so I'll do 3 teaspoons. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm gonna mix, and I'm gonna put it on medium heat. Oh, sorry, I'm bringing it to a boil. So I have it on medium heat. I will bring it up. Should look like this. The light in here sucks, I'm sorry. So now I'm gonna bring it up to a boil. I think like 8 should be fine. And I'll bring this one down a little bit. Leave it on 9. And we just wait for it to rise. Okay, so it is boiling now, so I am adding the jalapenos with a glove. Make sure you're wearing a glove. For the love of all things holy. You will thank me later. I feel like maybe this was too small of a pot. Why do I always do this? Ooh, it's close. That's a close one. I think that is just enough to let it simmer. So it says to simmer for about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna put on a timer and just let it do its thing. It's on medium heat now. So I'm gonna just let it simmer. It is time. Look at that, beautiful. I cannot wait to eat this. I'm only gonna can 1 less than what is recommended because I'm going to bust into one immediately. Bust into one. Okay. Oh God, I'm out of frame. Ah, my ass. So the recipe calls for a 1/4 of an inch headspace. Now, if you're new to canning and you don't quite understand headspace, here's a general rule of thumb that I use. 1/4 of an inch, I usually line up with this top line here. And then a half, I look for where the two meet here and I line it up to this one. So that's the difference. It said 4 cans, but again, I did half of the recipe, so it might be even less. So it might be 2. But yeah, that's it. So put them in there. Oh God, that smells so good. Get in there, you bastard. So I might only be handling one. So that's good for the jalapenos, and now I'm just gonna take liquid and I'm gonna fill it to that 1/4 headspace line. There we go. This is a little underwhelming because I'm only canning one thing, but that's the way of life, honestly, sometimes. Sometimes you're just a big back like me and you want to dig into one of these jars of Cowboy candy now and you don't want to preserve it and wait. I'm planning on eating it tonight with dinner. I will be making, God, what am I making? Oh yeah, I'm making salmon. Oh, this is gonna be really good on salmon. Ooh, that's gonna be good. All right, so this one, I'm honestly just gonna, ooh, that's hot, holy shit. So this one, I will be, first I'm gonna pop all those bubbles in there. I'm gonna be sticking, I just stick the end of a spoon in. It doesn't really matter. Some people have special tools. I don't have money for special tools, so I just use the back side of a spoon. And then you're gonna wanna wipe the rim. You wanna get all that liquid off the rim. I'm just gonna put that on, and I'm gonna put this on finger tight. You don't want it super tight. Literally just put it on decently tight, like not a lot of resistance. Holy fuck, that's hot. All right, cool. So I'm only doing one. So I'm gonna take my little, this is the only special tool you do need. I would highly recommend getting this. It's a little jar grabber thingy. So you want the water to cover at least an inch above. Obviously it can be more. So you want at least an inch of water above your jar. I'm gonna put the lid on and let it process for 15 minutes. It is time to pull my one singular can out of there. Yeah. Pull this out. That's it. That's all there is to it. Ta-da! Now Miss Meep is in my seat. Oh my god. I'm sorry, baby girl. I gotta sit down.